All right.
All right.
So Barry, brick and mortar is really kind of the bread and butter of what Bluemercury does. You guys are thinking about a lot of retail space growth in 2018, something like 50 stores,
Yes.
correct?
Correct.
Why are you so laser focused on the creation and growth of physical space?
You know, for us at Bluemercury, we've always felt that location is still everything. And that if you look at so many pure play e-commerce companies, such as Amazon.com or even Warby Parker, you're noticing that they're all starting to open up physical world stores. And the reason is that I believe that they're realizing something that I believed very much in 10, 15 years ago, which is that it's nearly impossible to fully actualize your brand without a real world presence. I mean, even according to Google themselves, while 8 out of 10 customers research online prior to purchasing, I think it's 51% of those customers still come into store and buy. Mm-hmm. And so we're really focusing on our retail stores. And one of the things also I'll just add to that is Amazon.com has spent so much time talking about the idea of last mile delivery. This is the big thing. This is what Amazon stands for, last mile delivery. But at Bluemercury, we're already in that last mile. We're right in the neighborhood where you live your life. You pick up a cup of coffee, come in and grab a lipstick, or pop in and learn a new tip or trick. So we really are bullish on the physical world retail.
And you guys are really obsessive about thinking about the location of your stores, but also kind of this integration, as you just mentioned, into the neighborhood. Why do you think that that is so paramount to having this physical space and growing the brand?
We like to embed ourselves in the community where our customers live their lives. Pop in for a quick tip or trick. Whether or not you need to even purchase something, we want to be part of that community. One of the things that I always do when I go look at a new market, I'll do something I call the Starbucks test, which is I'll go to a neighborhood and I'll sit in a Starbucks and see whether I see my customers, study how they live their lives. And I always say that, science is the threshold, but we've always won with art, which is that, I'll go into a neighborhood, let's say in Dallas, Texas, and I'll come in armed with legions of demographic data, psychographic data, household incomes, home prices. But for me, and we've got almost 200 stores now, it's never just been about that. It's about understanding how customers live their lives, what's convenient for them. If I lived in Texas or in California or Kentucky, would I shop at the Bluemercury store? Am I convenient?
Right. So earlier we talked with Katya about the idea that Birchbox's customer is a very specific person who's not necessarily actively seeking out beauty. Who is the Bluemercury customer?
Well, of course, I think the Bluemercury customer is the customer to die for. So whether it's a recent college graduate or on her way to a successful career, or a woman at the peak of her highly successful career, our client is decisive, educated, affluent. They're urban, they're suburban. I think the one thing that our Bluemercury customers all have in common is that they all want solutions to their beauty problems. So think about this statistic. This is an unbelievable statistic, fact about Bluemercury. More than 50% of the customers that come to a Bluemercury store come to Bluemercury looking for a solution to a beauty problem, which really sets us apart from almost all other retailers in the country. Less than 20% of the time does a customer come to Bluemercury looking for a brand or a product within a brand. But I'll tell you another big trend we're seeing now, and one of the big things that we've been really good at over the years is that we're really data driven, so we study the data. We're always able to find the white space, connect the dots, and see what's next. And the big new trend we're seeing now is actually men. Men are coming into our stores, increasingly purchasing in the makeup category. That may sound funny to you, but what's going on is that 5 years ago, men were buying shampoo, shower gel, and shaving cream. We're actually now seeing men, sophisticated men, who realize that their image is forever. They're on like they've never been before. They're on CNBC. They're doing a TED Talk. So where they used to buy shower gel and shaving cream, now they're buying bronzer, tinted moisturizer, eyebrow gel, and they realize that good grooming and looking good extends beyond great apparel and a nice watch.
And how's Bluemercury trying to think about that new customer in order to position yourselves to really capture all of that market share?
Well, first of all, our Bluemercury stores are specifically unisex, so they're not overly feminine. We've always catered to the male customer. And what's happened, which is funny, is that, you know, for years, our customers, the female customers, are coming in saying, you know, I can't figure out where my creme de la mer cream is going. I'm not using it as much as it seems, but there's just big fat finger chunks out of it. Where's that? The husbands, this is what's been going on, the husbands are going on the counter and borrowing their wife's products. They're seeing crow's feet around their eyes. They want to look better. And so we've started to cater to this customer. Our M61 brand that we've created, my wife and I, Marla, created, has been a runaway success for us. And it's focused towards unisex and both men. One of our products, M61 Power Glow Peel Pads, best-selling product. Someone's shaking their head here. Thank you so much. Yeah, we sell one every 8 seconds. It's Bluemercury's Coca-Cola. It's an annuity product for us. It's a product that our clients come in for, male and female, year after year because they love it. It works, and a lot of our customers, frankly, can't live without it.
So you mentioned kind of the unisex branding of Bluemercury. I'm wondering, you're in a space where we have Sephora, where we have Ulta, where we have a couple other places. How else are you differentiating yourself from those competitors?
You know, again, my wife and I, Marla, have always been very data-driven. And so we've always been able to find the white space in beauty retail and connect the dots and see what's next. And we've really been leading the charge. And by the way, I realize that it's taken us 18 years to become an overnight success, but right? But along the way, we've always found the white space. We came into the business 18 or 19 years ago when we surmised that people weren't happy with their beauty buying experience, right? There was two things going on. People said I was a maverick, right? I came into this business and, hey, Barry, you're an outsider. What do you know about the industry? And the answer was, actually, I didn't know anything, but I saw something that I thought was broken. And so, you know, you could only buy cosmetics at drugstores, which had carried lower end brands, and there was no sampling. And then there were these department stores, which I didn't think were convenient, and people often helped you at the department store or declined to help you based on your perceived income, what kind of shoes you were wearing, your handbag. So we saw that opportunity, we jumped into that. Back in 2010, we saw a trend, again, studying the data. Millennials are the largest generation of vegetarians in history by percentages and absolute numbers. Our customers were coming in to our stores and they were looking for natural products. The problem was back in 2010, pardon me, but the natural products were terrible. The packaging was bad, they smelled bad, they weren't effective. The problem was the doctor brands that everybody loved had harmful ingredients, parabens, sulfates, and so my wife Marla and I saw an incredible opportunity and we went to work in a lab and we created M61 Powerful Skincare, which has of course been a runaway success. Then we created two more things of white space where we're differentiating ourselves is that, we carried these makeup artist brands in our stores, Trish McEvoy, Laura Mercier, Francois Nars, but 75% of the females coming into our stores were saying, you know what? I don't think I'm that good at putting on makeup. So we created a makeup line called Lunaster, which is helping our customers leave the house feeling polished and powerful in under 5 minutes. And then of course the next big trend is the men's, that we're seeing men coming in our store. We're starting to cater to men. So the answer is, how do we differentiate ourselves from the pack? Is we continue to be able to see the white space and the trends. I mean, brands that you may think are ubiquitous today, or maybe not, I don't know, the guys names Kiehl's, Laura Mercier, Trish McEvoy, we identified these brands when they were cooking these products up in their kitchen. And these brands now are obviously international billion-dollar brands. We knew them when they were fledgling little sort of operations, sorry.
No. And you're also trying to incorporate technology into your store, correct? I believe artificial intelligence, how is that working?
Yes, so we just launched at our flagship store in Manhattan this Bluemercury Beauty Connect mirror. For me, my view of the store is really the hardware, and in my mind, what occurs inside the store is actually the software. And so I'm looking at a total upgrade of the Bluemercury model through a digital lens. And for me, it's not just about going digital, it's really about becoming digital. And my framework for that is really, the way I think about it is really this framework of the 3 Ds, which is sort of discovery, design, and delivery. So for us, discovery is that we sort of look at what the market needs are, what our customers want. And then, you know, we sort of match that or mirror that to our ambitions and what we think our actual capabilities are, because we're not the world's greatest technology people. And we try to, you know, match that together and come up with a strategy. And then the next thing is sort of design. We try to create high impact new technologies, sort of like our Bluemercury Connect Mirror, which we invented the first bagless shopping, where you can actually, anywhere in Manhattan, you can come use our app and you can have a lipstick delivered to you at your office or on the street or on your way to a party. We'll actually meet you and deliver a lipstick to you. And the last thing is delivery, which is, you know, we're trying to implement these technologies quickly and at scale, creating an ecosystem of actually delivery people that can actually get these products to you.
So Bluemercury has been growing for some time. You guys were expanding. You're thinking about technology in innovative ways, and then the Macys acquisition. So when we think about department stores, a lot of people, I think that's what they think of when they think retail is dead. So can you talk to me a little bit about the thinking behind having this kind of growing innovative beauty brand acquired by something that a lot of people would think is kind of passé?
Yes, so of course I'm going to get that question, and you know, I spent my life sort of as a maverick entrepreneur, and so the irony of selling my company to a Fortune 100 company, tier 1 department store, that irony isn't lost on me. But on the other hand, it was an amazing recognition of the innovation and value that my wife and I had created. And you have to remember, I started this company obviously right here in Washington, D.C., over in Georgetown. We were a fledgling operation. I had to build and scale every function of the company myself. Accounting, HR, supply chain. It was very hard. And Macys, of course, being such a huge company with 175,000 employees, was so strong in their core retail and omni-channel capabilities that it was really an obvious choice for me. And they have this really cool West Coast technology lab. I get to play around with their technology. And a lot of people don't realize, fun fact, which is that Macys is actually the 5th largest e-commerce company in America today. And 1 out of every 2 Americans shopped at a Macys store last year. And more importantly, they let my wife Marla and I flex our entrepreneurial muscles. We swim in our own lane, separate from Macys, and we continued to learn from each other. It's really been a great partnership.
So you mentioned the ability to kind of tap into that omni-channel presence. I'm wondering how you're thinking about building out more of a digital, more of an online presence. Is that something you guys are focused on?
Absolutely. You know, one of the things I like to say about that is when I want to try to figure out what the future of retail should be, I talk to my 14-year-old daughter. You know, if she were running Bluemercury, what would she be doing differently? You know, when she was 7 years old, I gave her my mobile phone, and it was actually the world's cheapest babysitter. And people may laugh at that, but the truth is this really started to reprogram the way she saw the world. And I think that everybody's trying to understand how this sort of young, you guys are here too, this young set of digerati are going to get their content, make their shopping decisions in the future. And so this is one of our main focuses as we build out our technology in store and you know, on our website as well.
So I want to let the audience know that once again, we're going to come to you for questions in just a few minutes. Same rules apply. Think about it now, condense it, and make sure it's a question. So kind of going off of that, you mentioned your 14-year-old daughter. I'm wondering, so social media, Instagram, Snapchat, have created this entire new space for beauty, for makeup, for things like that. How are you guys thinking about tapping into that space?
Well, first of all, I would say that it has been an absolute boon for our category. So when you look at retail today, there's really 2 categories that are actually really performing. One, fast casual food, and there's been some local great chains that have taken advantage of that. Cava is one, if people know that chain, and Sweetgreen. And the other category that's actually outperforming that category and performing better than any other category is cosmetics. Because today people have to be, this is an selfie generation, Instagram world, and people know that their image is forever. They gotta be ready to look good at any moment. And so we've just seen this huge boon in the purchase of cosmetics. It's really been lifting our business, and we had the best year in terms of growth and top line sales we've ever had before. And the way I look at it is sort of, I call it Bluemercury's golden thread to purchase. So our customers go, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, come into Bluemercury and buy. And so this golden thread to purchase has really worked for us.
So we talked about 50 new stores in 2018, the move into men's skincare and makeup. Where else do you see Bluemercury going in the near term?
Lots of new stores, more proprietary brands. We continue to find the white space. We're going to be going into bath and body, more stores, obviously more digital stuff. But I think, again, the big trend for us that we're seeing right now, I think the #1 trend is actually the men's space, which is just a huge untapped category. We're so far ahead, and I guess I'm going to admit this right now, because I haven't said this yet publicly, but I am launching a men's skincare line in 2018. And so I guess that's just been unveiled. So I don't know that I was supposed to say that today, but I said it. And so we're super excited about that.
Can you tell us more about it? What's going to be?
I think.
Sorry, the reporter is kicking in.
You're a reporter. I think I said enough.
Okay. And now I think we'd like to go to the audience for some questions. I think we have one over there.
Hello, my name is Noshma Firdaus. I'm the editor-in-chief of Lux Life, which is a beauty media company. And I also have a background with Sephora and LVMH, so I'm sure you're familiar with the company. My question is, you mentioned millennials who are overwhelmingly online shoppers, as you know, and if not online, then they're in malls shopping, which is easily accessible and convenient for them. And arguably, social media has changed since you started over 18 years ago. I'm kind of wanting to expand on your question. Do you feel maybe that you're missing out on this crucial customer because you're not necessarily as heavily in these spaces, attracting millennials, young people, as say the Sephoras and Ultas of the world?
Look, I actually don't think that we're missing out on this customer. I think that, my sister, so she's my age, when she was growing up, the young customer that was 14 to 30 years old learned about cosmetics very differently than the way that the customers today are learning about cosmetics. You would go to your mom's etagere or counter and you'd see Chanel #5 and she would tell you about that, and then she would take you to the department store and you'd meet the robotic sales rep who worked on commission, and they would spread. It's very different. Today, we have a store I think about all the time. I have a store at 88th and Madison on the Upper East Side, and these young millennials are coming home from school, walking with their mom down the street, pop into the corner Bluemercury store, mom grabs a quick lipstick, learns a quick tip or trick, daughter gets turned on to cosmetics just like that in the neighborhood where they live their lives. It's actually way more fluid, and the truth is we've been part of that trend. We've actually created a fork off the river, a tributary, and it's actually, we were early and it was risky for us because we were the first to do it, but the truth is that trend has been our friend, has actually worked in our favor. And I think that the mall still has a place in some regards, but it's not as convenient as it used to be. I was in New York City last night, and I took a cab. It took me 20 minutes to go 1 block. Imagine how long it takes to go, out to the mall, and imagine a 30% increase in population as the world goes from 6 billion to 9 billion people. So people are going to want to be in their neighborhoods where they live their lives in that last mile, and I think Bluemercury is uniquely positioned to capitalize on that.
All right. Question right there.
Hi, Colin Hartman from Harper McCaw, fine chocolate manufacturers here in DC. Mike, wondering if you could talk a little bit about store design. You said that Bluemercury is more than just having products. It's about a experience, solving a problem, particularly now that you're trying to appeal to men. I'm wondering if you could talk about kind of the tactical design level aspects of your stores.
We just actually redesigned all of our stores. And, one of the things that we did was we did notice the appeal of Apple stores, which were white, and we just sort of changed our store, made them look more fresh. We used to have carpets in our store and a little bit more old-fashioned. So we just refreshed our stores, made them look more modern. But everything we do is focused around our expertise and being able to walk you around our stores and intersell versus at the department store where everything's sold by brand. At Bluemercury, we may walk you through our store, male or female, and grab you an eyebrow gel from this brand and a shaving cream from that brand. And our stores are really laid out in an open format to be able to quickly walk you around our stores. We have spas at every single one of our stores. I don't know if you guys know this. We have spas in the back. We were rated by Oprah Winfrey, who I heard maybe running for president, so as the best facial in America. And so people are coming to us for our expertise, and again, that's really worked well for us.
Okay. One right there, there.
Good morning, Desiree Van Frederick of Local Merchant Independent Retailers Association. So what was missing in this particular conversation, I believe, was the angle of the real estate developer and the landlord, essentially. As we see, retail itself is shifting, it's evolving, but retail leasing models are not. And can you speak a bit more to that in terms of your insights and perhaps models that you can recommend?
Yeah. I would say, and not to be cute, but the truth is the real estate market is softening. But someone once told me, you're never going to steal AAA real estate. And so for me at Bluemercury, I've always looked for, again, and I think I've said this earlier or before, which I've always looked for wonderful real estate at fair prices rather than looking for fair real estate at wonderful prices. You're just never going to be able to get the best real estate at bargain basement prices. But I think that the landlords are starting to understand that retailers are important to them and getting the right retailers. And I've always worked to convince landlords, and I really, really believe this, and sometimes it falls on deaf ears, but I say to landlords, hey, if you can get Bluemercury in your building versus, let's say, I don't want to pick on a retailer, but let's say like a CVS, right? So we're different businesses. They can get a CVS who maybe has possibly a better credit profile than us or has 7,000 stores. I said, yeah, but you should merchandise your shopping center and maybe take even a young upstart brand who will merchandise your shopping center rather than just going for credit or who will pay the most. And sort of that's how we've always operated Bluemercury, and we're trying to convince landlords they should be merchandising their shopping centers the way that we merchandise our stores. I would tell you that one local landlord, Federal Realty, has done a pretty good job doing that, certainly in downtown Bethesda and other centers where they have focused on bringing in local retailers that do a better job. It's not just about who will pay the most rent, which I think long-term is not always the best strategy.
All right, I think we have.
Hi, my name is Taria Thomas, and I work in hospitality management right next door to a Bluemercury, actually. And my question is about
which location?
Logan Circle.
Oh, great.
With the advent of beauty brands such as Fenty Beauty, which has introduced so many different lines of skincare products for women of a variety of color ranges, do you somehow see women or men of color in those quote-unquote white spaces that you were talking about earlier as maybe a broadening demographic? I don't know, maybe some data talks about that.
And of course, it's very important to us. It's something that we're focusing on, and we're always looking to bring in lines for multicultural effect. And we're actually seeing, all kinds of different clients coming into our stores, and our positions that we're always looking to serve all the different communities that are coming to shop with us.
All right, everyone, please join me in thanking Barry for his time.